getting started with Nitro RC and actually, starting off the very first time and watching. Now, the first thing I would actually say is buy a ready-to-run package if you're a beginner. Don't buy like a build-it-yourself or starter kit and stuff like that. Buy a ready-to-run kit that comes pre-assembled along with the radio, the receiver, and everything you need to get your car running. Now, so when you arrive, when you've got the car, you've got it out the box, there's just a few things that you need. And we're going to start off actually by looking at the engine. So, of course, it's kind of obvious where the engine is. This is your engine. You can get different size engines and different colour heat sinks here. That's the engine, of course. And on the engine you have your carburetor, and actually on here you've got your high speed needle and your low speed needle. Here is your fuel tank, and I will talk about fuels and things later. Here is the exhaust system, and of course the back pressure line and the fuel carrier line here. Depending on what car you have, some cars come as a drill starter system and some cars come as a pull start system. This one actually has a pull start system, and the pull start is right here. Now, when pulling on your pull start, always use very short, quick pulls on this one. Now, your car up and running and starting off the very first time, you'll be needing some nitro, some fuel basically. Of course, any engine needs some juice to run on, and these nitro engines run on nitro fuel. You cannot run a nitro engine on 2-stroke oil and 2-stroke petrol. You'll probably end up blowing this up, but to always use nitro. If you have the MB16, then I would recommend to use 16 or 20% nitro. For any engines higher than that, then use 25% or more. So you will need fuel. In order to get the car started, you will need your glow plug igniter. Very simply, you start the engine, you need to clamp this onto the glow plug, which ignites the plug, and then that's when you pull the starter. Alright, so you will be needing one of them when you start off. Also, you will be needing a cross wrench. This one you can use for many different things. You can use it for removing the glow plug and also removing tyres and other different things like that. You'll also need a screwdriver. Now, of course, you can buy the ordinary screwdriver that looks like this. But if we zoom in very close on this one, you'll be able to see on here that I cannot adjust the high end needle or the low end needle using this kind of screwdriver. You can see it's actually too thick at the end to fit in here. So you will need one of them, but not for tuning. So you'll actually need one of these. This is a tuning screwdriver, and you can see that it fits in there perfectly and enables you to adjust the needles properly and adjust them properly, and it's the screwdriver to do that job. Also, you have an air filter. Just like a petrol motor, you have an air filter. This needs to be cleaned after every run, and actually on the air filter there is air filter oil. So you will be needing some air filter oil. This is the Opti Protect, the same maker's Opti Fuel actually, and you will be needing some of this in order to put air filter oil on, which traps small dirt particles going into the engine. Also, you'll be needing some after-run oil. The after-run oil is what it says, after-run oil, which you put in after you've run the car. In order to apply the after-run oil, simply take out the glow plug and put in a couple of drops, replace the glow plug. I also have videos on that. Also recommended, but is not essential, I would recommend this, is some WD-40. Actually, this is also very good for cleaning, but actually you need to regularly WD-40 like the moving parts, which prevents squeaks and things like that. Now, of course, additional tools are always recommended. You will also need things like pliers. They come in very handy as well. So always have those pliers. Recommend to have some hex wrenches, all different sizes. You can actually order these. This is a fast stretch tool set which you can order off of multisport.co.uk. Also different size screwdrivers. Often these screws on here aren't just ordinary like Phillips screws, which you can use using these type of screwdrivers. Always having more than one of these is good. Actually these AA ones, they're not very good, so don't use one of them. Get a good rechargeable one like this. They always come in handy as well. Actually on the exhaust here you will find that there is zip ties holding the exhaust nice and secure. These often come loose and fall off and the exhaust comes off and then the engine makes an awful noise, and yeah, then you need to replace them then. So all these different things, actually they will come in very, very handy. Of course, to get running you'll be needing a transmitter. It's very, very simple to use, and then the receiver. You must always make sure that when running you fully extend the transmitter cable. Now, looking at the transmitter here, it is very simple to use. Actually, all you've got is your throttle trigger here, and when I pull on the throttle, you can see that on the car, you can see the servos underneath, which is opening the car. Now, another thing is, on our transmitter, you have got this is our steering, and actually on the car, if you look on the car now, you can see that when I'm turning, the steering is turning, hooray! Now, on these here, you have got a steering trim. You can set that steering trim prior to running, which is basically so that when you're just going in a straight line, it will go in a straight line. Now, on our throttle pull here, you've got a pull, that means it will accelerate, and a push up, that means that the engine will brake and the car will come to a stop. Now, our steering, many people get confused actually. They think you have to hold these remotes like this. Well, you can, but the whole idea is you hold them like a trigger. That's why this is the trigger and this is the gun, and then you go bang like that. So very simply, you normally adjust it like this. You can see I'm sat this way, the car's over there, and I'm whizzing around like that. On here you've got steering reverse and throttle reverse. These ones are very simple to understand. Basically it just reverses the servos so that instead of pulling it would accelerate, in fact it would brake. So that's just a different way there. On the side of your transmitter you will actually have an on-off switch. Very, very simple.